Yay! We're live. Alrighty, and I think I will just wait for maybe Melissa to post in the comments or something like that. That way I can know that we are on YouTube and Facebook and everything is going right. Hello, everyone. I am Sammy or Miss Sammy, and I am here for Family Adventure Day Online Edition. We've got a guest with us today, and I will bring her in the platform once we get some people here, everyone watching that wants to. Hello, Quinn. Hi, Peggy and Mike. Mikey. I think that's Michael, but it's weird calling him Mikey. I'm so glad you're watching. Hello, Quinn. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, it looks like we've got a whole bunch of friends. If you would like me to say hello, please put your name in the comments and I'll say hi to you. Hi, Dana and Jenna. I'm so glad you've joined. Alrighty, I'm so glad to have you here today. Okay, so I just wanted to go over. Hi, Madeline and Olivia. Thanks for joining today. I'm so excited to have you. Yay, we've got a whole bunch of friends joining me for Family Adventure Day. Hello, Caleb. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Alrighty, so the supplies that you might want to go gather right now, or while I'm just waiting and letting people in, is a toilet paper roll tube, a balloon, and if you don't have a balloon, feel free to message us or email us later, and we can give you a balloon with your next curbside pickup or your next hold pickup. We'll put a balloon with your books, alrighty? And then you'll want a pair of scissors, and I've got some puff balls, but if you want, if you've got some like cotton balls or maybe mini marshmallows, feel free to grab those. So those are the supplies that you need, and pencil and paper and markers. Alrighty. I think we've got a full audience, so I'm gonna let Miss Aidan on. And once again, I'm Sammy or Miss Sammy, and I am with the Prairie Public Library, bringing you Family Adventure Day Online Edition. Alrighty. And I'm going to bring Miss Aidan on. She is our guest for today, and she's going to help us with some of these awesome STEAM, science-y, Greek goddess projects. Are you ready?
Hello, everyone. I am Aidan, or Miss Aidan, and today I figured I would dress the part for our fantastic activities about Greek goddesses in particular. We're going to be talking about Artemis, so I'm really excited to be joined with so many of you.
Oh, and I think I forgot to say hello to D'Artagnan. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, so I'm Miss Aidan. I work at the BTC Institute, and I do science outreach. I've done a Family Adventure Day before with Miss Sammy, and it was so much fun that I wanted to come back and join even more of you this time. So you can find a link for that. We've got it attached. We're sharing out a Google Doc, which will have all of the different activities that we're going to talk about today. Right, Miss Sammy?
Yes. Excellent. And I just want to say a quick hi to Braylon and Grayson and Cole and Hazel. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Excellent. So happy to see everyone there. Oh, thank you, Peggy. Thank you for the costume compliment.
Alrighty. And I'm just going to show the Google Doc quick. So Miss Melissa, there we go. There it is. Miss Melissa shared this link in the comments. You can visit it after the video, but I just wanted to show you all that is available in the Google Doc. It is all of our contact info right here at the top. Whoops. Just messed it up a little bit. There we go. That's it. And then it's got the instructions for our experiments that we're doing today. And then it's got some extra activities to check out. And of course, everything relates to books, right? So I've got a whole book list for you to check out. So this Google Doc is full of awesome things. If you missed anything in our video or want to go back to the instructions, that Google Doc is there for you. Alrighty. So, Miss Aidan, what are we doing first?
We are doing a lot of things. We have 3 activities planned today, so let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do connects to Artemis because if you don't know, Artemis was the Greek goddess of the wilderness, of the hunt, and of the moon. So each of our activities today are going to tie into one identity of Artemis. So for the first activity, we're going to talk about Artemis as the goddess of the wilderness. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat here. What are some wild animals that you can think of that Artemis might have had in her forests as the goddess of the wilderness? What do you think, Miss Sammy? What kinds of things might you find?
Ooh, do you think she maybe runs with bears?
Ooh, absolutely. I think one of Artemis's sacred animals is a bear, so I think that that's definitely possible. Yes.
What about raccoons?
Oh, I love raccoons. Yes, absolutely. I can definitely imagine that there would be some raccoons, but that is not what we're going to be working with today. We are not going to hang out with any raccoons. You'll have to tune into a zoo zort for that. I see a fox. Yes, absolutely. I know that you can see foxes around in people's backyards now. Excellent. And a deer? Yes. Whenever you see pictures of Artemis, you'll actually see sometimes she has a deer with her. So commonly you'll see a picture of Artemis with a deer. Yeah, or a wild horse. Absolutely. These are great ideas. I love the wilderness theme. So the one that I'm thinking of, it doesn't have any legs. It can be many different colors. It slithers around. What is it, Miss Sammy?
A snake.
Yes. So I don't have any snakes with me. I'm not going to bring one out, but for our science activity today, we're going to make a bubble snake. Okay. Now, if you've gone to the Prairie Public Library and you went to their, was it your finale event?
Finale last year.
You might have done an activity similar, but we're going to mix it up a little bit for you. Okay. So for this activity, it's just going to be a demo. We're just going to explain how you can do this for later. It's kind of a messy activity, so you might not want to get it out now, and then you can just save this video and you can come back to this activity later. Sound good? All right, Miss Sammy.
Slightly a dangerous activity in prepping it, so we didn't want to make parents do something dangerous. Not horribly dangerous. It's dangerous in the fact that I had to use a X-Acto knife to cut my hole out. So dangerous in that sense. We don't want you to do it in a rush.
Yes, so absolutely. No, don't rush cutting up plastic pieces or anything. So what you're going to be doing, you just need like a bottle or something that has 2 openings on the end. So, just a regular soda bottle, and you'll have to cut it apart. If you don't have a bottle, what else could you use, Miss Sammy?
So last year we used red Solo cup.
Excellent. So yeah, anything that has 2 openings, get some assistance in order to make that second hole. And then you'll need to find some sort of covering. I'm going to use a washcloth, and you're going to use that to cover the largest opening of your container. Now, if you don't have a washcloth, what could you use, Miss Sammy?
I've got a whole bunch of mismatched Dobby socks laying around the house. Sometimes the dryer just eats them up. So for our experiment today, I've got different ones. I've got your normal old, boy sock is, I think, what would most commonly wear this one. I've got a fuzzy sock, and I've got a fun printed sock.
I love this. And I especially love that for this activity because this is a science experiment. So you can actually try all different kinds of coverings and see how they affect how your bubble snake is going to turn out. Okay. So once you've got your covering attached onto your container, I tied it together with a hair elastic. You could use a rubber band or just hold it with your hands. And then you're going to have to get together your bubble solution. All right. So my bubble solution is here in this container. How did I make this bubble solution? Well, I'm not exactly going to tell you, but I will say that it's a combination of water and soap. And you could buy a bubble solution at the store, but it's way more fun to make your own and to test out some different recipes for making the best bubble solution. In our Google Doc, I even made a worksheet for you so you can test out all the different recipes and then write down, did it work, did it not work? And you can keep improving until you have the best bubble recipe out there, okay? So you're gonna take your bubble wand. You ready, Miss Sammy? Are we gonna do this side by side?
Yeah.
Dip it into our bubble solution that we've made. And then you're gonna take that small opening and you're gonna blow bubbles through it, okay?
So yeah, I had to use an X-Acto knife to cut a hole in my red Solo cup.
All right, and then once you got that all mixed up, I've got it over a plastic container because I don't want to make a mess everywhere. Woo!
Ah.
Wow!
I mean, this is really cool.
I love that our bubbles, even looking at the screen, they look kind of different, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to the different type of material that you use. So mine's really, really thin right here. But I wonder what would happen if I used like a thicker fuzzy sock.
Oh, I would love to know what happens if you use a thicker
I'm going to try some super miracle bubbles.
Ooh, fun.
Let's see if this, nope, I didn't realize it wasn't open.
That is so fun. I never would have expected that these bubbles would come from just a washcloth and some soap. But once you blow that air through it, all those soap molecules get stuck in the pockets of whatever covering you use. And then each of those bubbles stick to each other really tightly. So that's why they're not floating out and they stay in that nice snake-like shape, which I think is really, really cool. Oh, Miss Sammy, check that out. And those bubbles definitely look different. They look huge.
Yeah. These are a little bit thicker and there's a lot more little bubbles.
Ooh, messy.
Bubbles everywhere. But the one, when I did it with this one, they were a lot thinner. Some of them got bigger and they were a little bit less dense. So
I love that. And that's what's really cool about this worksheet too, is you can write down all the different things that you use, because then you don't know, was it because of the sock? Was it because of the soap that you use? You can make sure to keep track of those things as well. And if you want to make it really fun, you can add some food coloring. Never actually tried this, but I've heard that it might make your snake change a different color, so we'll see if that's true.
what color should I put in mine? I've got pink, orange, purple.
Wow. That looks great. Cool. I wasn't sure if it would show up on camera, but you can tell what color that is, right? Yeah.
Totally.
Excellent. All right. Now, the snake isn't going to bite me, but it might fly all over, and I don't want it to stain anything. So I'm going to get it out of the way, but I'm excited to see what color you choose, Miss Sammy.
Alrighty. Purple. I think, did you do purple or did you do blue?
This is purple-ish. I see blue in the comments, maybe from Madeline and Olivia.
Alrighty. Oh, I realized that the box was not accurately labeled, so I'm going to try orange.
This would be an awesome activity to do outside, maybe. What do you think, Miss Sammy?
Totally. I mean, I'm already getting a little bit messy in my fingers from the food coloring.
Yeah, maybe my kitchen table wasn't the best, but it sure is fun.
Alrighty, let's see. I got yellow or orange.
Ooh.
That's more white.
Bottom, but not all throughout.
Orange stripe there.
There we go. Nice racing stripe. Very cool.
Alrighty. So Artemis is goddess of the wild, but what is she most well known for?
Well, Goddess of the Wild, sure. There's another one that she is very well known for. And if you see pictures of her, you might see her with a silver bow and arrow. And that's because she's goddess of the hunt. So for our next activity, this is one that we're going to do together. So you need to get together all of your supplies that we had listed in the beginning. You've got your toilet paper tube, a balloon, a pair of scissors. Yes, excellent. And maybe like a cotton ball or something small that you can use as a projectile or something that you're gonna fly across the room. Okay, so once you've got all those things ready, we are going to walk through how you can make your own balloon launcher. Okay, very simple, but it has a very awesome result. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, you'll have to get your toilet paper roll, and if you want, you can decorate it and you can color around the outside. If you have wrapping paper or something, you can use that to cover the outside of it. Oh, Miss Sammy, yours is so pretty.
I just decided to have some fun with it.
I love it. And actually, if you don't have like a toilet paper roll, I could imagine if you asked for some help, you could also use, a plastic cup, and you could just take the top off of that, and you could see how that works as a potential balloon launcher. All right. So next you're going to need your balloon, and you're not going to have to blow it up or anything. Just leave it as is, and you're going to pretend like it's blown up and tie a knot right at the bottom. Okay. So just give it a little loop. Tie it up. You don't have to blow it up with air at all. Sometimes it's tricky if you have a small balloon. Perfect. So I'm using silver because that's what I have, but Artemis also has a silver bow and arrow, so I thought it was fitting. But you can use any color balloon that you have. What if you don't have a balloon, Miss Sammy?
I don't know. What can you use?
I'm not really sure either. But if you're in some prairie, you might be able to get some help gathering a balloon. Everyone got theirs tied up?
Alrighty. I think we're good.
All right. Next, you're going to need your scissors. And you're just going to, at the very top of your balloon, you're just going to cut a little tiny, piece of that balloon off, like right at the top. Just going to give it a little bit of a snip. I'm not sure if you could have see mine on camera. But then you'll have this nice opening of your balloon. And this is what's going to fit over your toilet paper tube. And I don't know if you can see how I'm going to be doing that, but I've just kind of got it sitting on the table, and I'm just going to fit it over the top.
Perfect.
You just want to make sure that it's secure all the way across, because you're going to be pulling on this knot, and you don't want to accidentally pull your balloon all the way off that toilet paper roll. You can secure it with tape if you have any tape, but I found that just holding it at the same time while you pull on that knot it works just as well. So if you don't have any tape, I don't have any tape around here, this works just as well. And this is it. This little thing, that's all there is to it. You now have made a balloon launcher. Now, do you think it works, Miss Sammy?
Super simple. I think it does, mostly because I tried it the other day. But we also learned that maybe what you're shooting out of it, you might need to experiment with. Now, in order to make this fun, I created a target for myself to try and shoot my little puff balls to.
I love that. I feel like I don't have as much skill. I am not Artemis, so I don't have very good aim. Oh, Miss Sammy, that was fantastic. I did not try to aim for a target. I just tried to figure out how far I could make my different materials that I was going to launch go. So I have like a little bottle cap, and this is a packing peanut because I don't have any cotton balls at my house. But I just wanted to see how far they could go. So I've got the area behind me. I set it up as a sort of launching zone so that I could get as much distance as possible with my different projectiles that I want to fly across the room. Now, this is another activity that would be a lot of fun to do outside.
Alrighty, I'm gonna make us wider, that way you can go practice.
Ooh, yes. Oh, such a cool background. Okay, I'm gonna go practice. I don't know if you'll be able to see my projectile, but I don't know how well this shows up. I've got a tape measure down on the ground so that I can count how many inches or how far across the room my packing peanut is going to travel. So we'll see if this works. Woo! And it did, and I don't know if you can see it, but it went about 70 inches.
Wow. Now, when we were testing these out, we kind of discovered that my little puff balls were a little bit too light. So we played around with with different things that we can shoot out. And so this pen cap is a lot heavier than this little fluff ball, and it made quite the difference when launching materials.
It did, and we've actually included a little worksheet for you if you want to connect this to some math skills, where you can write down how many different, my mirroring's backwards, how many different trials you do, and then how far the distance is. And then you can even put it into a little graph, and you can see how far my packing peanut went compared to how far my bottle cap went. So you can see that there actually is a difference in how far they traveled with my balloon launcher. And that can be different depending on the kind of launcher that you use. If you don't have a balloon, we have another example that I can show you, which I haven't shown Miss Sammy yet. It's kind of a surprise. But you need 2 toilet paper rolls, a pencil, some tape, and rubber bands. And this is what you can create. And here you have to pull back on that pencil. And then here is where you put whatever you want to launch, like your packing peanut. And so it works a little bit different, but if you don't have a balloon, you can obviously get creative and think of how else could I make a launcher with the things that I already have at home. All right, I've got balloons everywhere and packing peanuts everywhere, but I think I'm going to put those aside. What do you think, Miss Sammy?
Alrighty. So what's
anything else to add?
I think that's good. I think there's a lot of really cool things. And if you make a really cool shooter and you want to share it with us, we would love to see what your shooter looks like, whether you decorated it or whether you tried something different. Please send us a picture. It would be so cool to see all your awesome shooters. Or if you make some really fun bubble snakes, send us some pictures of those too. We'd love to see what you guys are doing.
I would love to see pictures. So please send those. How can they send those into you, Miss Sammy?
Yes, so in the Google Doc, there's a link to my email. There is also a contact form on our website that they could email through, or they can just send us a message via Facebook Messenger with a picture.
Excellent. Very cool. Now, we've gone through 2 of Artemis's different identities, and we mentioned 3. And so the last one is our connection to Artemis as goddess of the moon, okay? And this final activity about Artemis, it connects to Greek mythology, but it also connects to a real-life NASA mission, okay? And NASA is all about space exploration. So this connection kind of brings our imagination of what we could possibly think of for space exploration and connect it to a real space exploration mission. All right, so in mythology, Artemis is the goddess of the moon. And in NASA, the Artemis program is going to be the next mission to send the next man and the first woman to step foot on the moon. So this mission they started developing it in 2017. And so eventually we are going to be sending the next man and the first woman to the moon with the Artemis program. And so what I've got here is a NASA mission badge. I see that Peggy launched an M&M. That is awesome. Good idea. I put my dog upstairs so that she wouldn't come down. So I would have to make sure she stays up there if I was launching M&Ms. But this is our Artemis logo. So these are mission patches. So basically at NASA, if you work on a mission or you're an astronaut that goes into space with these missions, you get a patch like this that you can wear around. And so this is one that was developed for the Artemis mission, which is all about sending humans to the moon, but also a next step, which is eventually to send humans to Mars. Okay? Yeah. And this is a real life mission, guys. This is really in the works for a real NASA mission. So here you can see we've got Artemis down at the bottom, and this blue crescent represents Earth, because that's where this mission has to start from. All of the people that make space exploration possible come from Earth here. So it's blue, but it's also shaped kind of like a bow and arrow, like Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, right? So they thought about that connection when they put it into their mission patch. Then we've got this red kind of like swooping like cross, because it kind of looks like an A. So this red cross goes from Earth and it travels all the way up to the moon, because that's where we're hoping to go with the Artemis program, back to the moon. But this swoop is red because Mars is sometimes called the red planet. And so even though we want to go to the moon, there's also plans to go to Mars, all right? And then this tip of the A here, you can see that it looks kind of like an arrow, like a bow and arrow again, back to Artemis, and it's silver, because Artemis's bow and arrow is made of silver. And it points not to the moon, it points past the moon.
Yeah.
Because we want to go to Mars. So a lot of thought went into this mission patch for their space exploration. And so what we're going to challenge you to do is to create your own mission patch to explore anywhere you want in our solar system, in our galaxy, whatever it is. So if you could, type in the chat and let us know what kinds of things you're thinking of making a mission patch about. Is there a planet that you want to explore? Is there a star that you'd like to go see? Go ahead and put that in the comments, because I would love to see those. What do you think, Miss Sammy?
That is so cool. And I just wanted to show you a couple other real badges. So this is from the Apollo 1 mission, and it's got the name of the astronauts who were on Apollo 1, and it's got Earth and the American flag, and I think that's a part of the mission that went there, the little spacecraft thing.
That's really cool. And I can see the moon in the background too. You can see they must have had something to do with the moon.
Yep. And so this is for Apollo 8. And so even though it's the same mission, it's a little bit of a different badge. And so here's another one. And then these are the last two that I have.
Very cool.
They're all really cool. So I see that Peggy wants to go to the sun, and Kate, you want to go to Mars. Well, I got creative and I tried to design my very own patch to go to Mars. We were thinking the same thing, Kate. Pluto. Oh my gosh, I would love Pluto as my favorite planet, even though it's not a planet anymore. But it's adorable.
It would be a very cool place to visit, I think. It'd be a long journey, but I think it would be worth it.
So here is my sketchboard for Mars. And so Mars is the god of war. Mars is also known as the red planet, like you said. And Mars is a Greek god. Well, actually, no, he's a Roman god. And he is known as the father of Remus and Remulus. And Remus and Remulus in Greek mythology were werewolves. So if you're familiar with the Harry Potter series, Remus Lupin, we later found out, is a werewolf. So I was like, there are robots already on Mars, and most robots are square. So that's why I drew out a square. And then R, because I decided that Remus is going to be the name of my mission to Mars.
I like that.
Yeah. And then since there's already some robots, the Mars rover on Mars, I drew some tracks. And then along with that is a werewolf track. So those are kind of like my inspirations for Mars. And then I'm still working on it, but here is my rough sketch of my logo.
Wow, I love how your ideas all kind of came together, and I like the shape. A lot of the mission patches, maybe they're circles, like the one that you showed us earlier from Apollo. I like how creative you were with making it in the shape of an R. I think that would be really cool to have as a patch to show off your mission. That's excellent.
So we've got a fun craft. So with this mission badge, if you create a really cool mission badge that you absolutely love, feel free to draw it out and send us a picture of it, or get it to us somehow, and I will turn it into a button for you. Because I think if you make a really, really cool mission badge, you should be able to wear it, right?
Absolutely.
So, what a better way to wear it than turning it into a button. So if you're interested in turning it into a button, in the Google Doc that we shared with you, we've got the size of awesome, Wilson. I hope you make a really cool one. I'd love to see it. I got the size of the button. It's just over 2 inches. So remember that it's small and it's circular. So we were talking about other shapes. You can still make it another shape because I can still like put something like this on a button. It just might have white space around it. So keep that in mind. I would really love to see your buttons, and I would really love to make your badges, and I would love to make them into a button for you. All righty. Are you starting to draw out an idea for your own mission badge there, Aidan?
I'm just kind of brainstorming. Like you started out before, I'm thinking of, redesigning the Artemis mission somehow, because like you said, sometimes there's more than one. So already people have designed an Artemis 1 mission badge. But I want to think, like, what does Artemis 3 look like? Or what does Artemis mission badge 4? What would that look like? So I tried to draw Earth and maybe like have it overlapping with the moon and the Mars planet somehow so that they're all in there, but like kind of in a line.
Ooh.
So like, oh, we're going from Earth, and then we're going to the moon, and then we're going to Mars. But I want them to kind of overlap so that, Earth is in the background, and then Mars is kind of closer towards us. But I'm not a graphic artist, so it's all very conceptual now.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well,
imagine if you're very tech savvy, you could make one online. Mm-hmm. If you could like put it into some sort of computer design program, I think that would be helpful too. But I don't have access to one of those.
Alrighty. Well, if you have any questions about any of the crafts that we did today, we're happy to answer them. Feel free to put them in the comments if you would like, or email us. Both Miss Aidan and I's email is linked in. Ooh, I like that.
That's a start. Cool.
If you need some books about these topics, if you'd like some snake books or some Greek god and goddess books, or just any kind of books, feel free to contact me or the library, and we'll happily definitely grab you some books. Miss Lynn this morning just did Window Shopping Wednesdays, which are now going to be an ongoing Wednesday thing where we kind of take a tour of the library and show you some of our books. So feel free to check out that video to get some book ideas. In the Google Doc, I linked to some books for ideas. There's so many great resources out there. Wish I could share them all with you, and we tried to in the Google Doc. Lots of cool things on your work's website. Do you want to talk about that quick?
We've got a link that we've shared in that Google Doc for you. So at the BTC Institute, we're putting together a list of resources for elementary and middle school students for science at home. So if you wanted to check out that website, we've included it in that Google Doc. And we've separated those activities out kind of based on some standards, but any of these activities could be made to fit for a middle school or an elementary student or younger. Everything could be extended or simplified in some way. And hopefully most of them are things that you can do with things you already have at home, or like the activities we showed you, maybe they're not exactly the same, but you could switch things out and still have a really cool activity to do as well. And we've also been putting together a lot of space-related activities. So there is a section just on its own for space activities that have to do with the Artemis program.
That is so cool. Space is so fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. And then I just wanted to remind you too about Express Service. We have express hours where you can come in and pick up your colds, or of course we still have curbside available. So if you need to get a balloon from us, if you didn't have one, or if you send me your badge, your mission badge, I'll attach your button with your curbside pickup. Just gotta let me know about that and send me some info in the picture, and we'll get it all scheduled for you. Alrighty. I think that's it for today. I don't see any questions. Anything else, Aidan?
I have nothing else to add. I'm so happy that so many of you joined us today. It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad to do this with you, Miss Sammy.
Awesome. Yes, I'm so glad to have you. Alrighty. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Bye, Quinn.
Bye, guys.